Hello, and welcome to episode 142 of Bardic Quest. Our heroes, after an intense encounter with an invisible foe, find themselves alone in the perilous chambers of the Dragon Barrow. Chambers filled with history, danger, and knowledge of the arcane and dragon lore. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Okay. You are now alone, it seems, in this chamber.
Is everyone okay?
Yes. That was different.
Yes, what is that thing? Thorik?
I have no idea. But health and safety certainly haven't been through here in a few centuries. Oh.
Is anybody amongst you proficient in Arcana?
Ooh,
Nope.
no.
I'm half proficient.
Jack of all trades, baby.
Yeah.
We will take
Am I?
that.
I really don't think I am.
Would you like to give me an Arcana check, Sergei?
Ooh, hello, that's an 18.
Go on, boy.
Actually, Sergei, you have heard stories of such creatures.
Actually, Thorik, I have heard stories.
What's the creatures?
This you believe to be a rather inventive name for such a creature. An invisible stalker.
Aha.
A creature of pure air, summoned from its native plane and transformed by powerful magic for the sole purpose of hunting down creatures and retrieving objects for whomever summoned it.
I will relay that, and then I will also say, now listen, Thorik, I've had a few invisible stalkers in my time, but this one, they don't usually bite. That's a lie.
So,
You get the point.
was that recent? Did someone summon it just now? Or is it because you touched the axe?
The hammer.
I mean... So, something conjured that creature to locate objects, or do you say locate objects? Like,
Yes, it comes in search of objects or people.
So either it was after us, or the axe.
Yes. Or the dead squire in the corner. We can't be certain, but I assume the axe.
hammer.
Yes, I know. An axe. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not the only one who got hit.
Sorry. Do we think this has anything to do with the same Caro? Is this Caro?
Yeah, it was Caro.
It if they were smart enough. Well, I don't think it's from the Zentardum.
Johann said Kara was a witch, so
If they were smart enough to know what we were planning, possible.
But
We
we
must
only
tread
knew
very carefully.
we only knew we were coming here when we had the discussion with Margaret.
You don't think? I hope not.
go on.
Well, Margaret, could it have been a test?
I mean, that would be pretty dickish, to put it lightly. To tell me to go do something and then be like, no, let's make it even more hard for
Spicy.
him. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they won't be sending too many more. That was not my idea of fun. Shall we? Now we've got that. Shall we?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So we have to now go fight a dragon.
Yes.
With the axe.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna bite. He's not gonna bite. He's not gonna bite. He's not gonna bite. Thorik jumps off of the skull of the dragon, or kind of slides down slightly. With the hammer in his hand, sort of throws his shield over his shoulder and kind of appraises the design of it, and heads over to the tomb of Crystrid Silverhorn. Is there any kind of details of it? Is it are there any is there anything significant in this room other than the hammer?
In terms of what you can see in this room, the main features seem to have been this large, clearly dragon skull with the hammer resting upon it, and these two sarcophagi, one of Crystrid and one markings of which suggest, as we mentioned, being Crystrid's unnamed squire. In terms of markings here, the squire's sarcophagus is fairly unmarked, aside from notation in Dwarvish script that it was indeed the squire of Crystrid. Otherwise, the sarcophagus for Crystrid is fairly plain, actually. It has a few markings that denote the Silverhorn line upon it. Family runes and things in Dwarvish. And a carving of a horn that is often used as a symbolism for your house.
Aye.
Aside from that, it's actually really rather plain.
And going over to the sarcophagus, he'll just like rest a hand on the tomb of Crystrid and sort of turn, looking back at the spirit guardians as they start to fade, kind of like one by one. And the last two left are his mother and Crystrid herself. And he sort of looks at the sarcophagus, looks back, and just gives a knowing nod to them as they fade. And he just says in Dwarvish to his ancestor, he just says, "Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your light. I will carry it now. I shall make each and every one of you proud." And he turns and rests a hand on the Tomb of the Unknown Squire. Is there a reason why he'd be unnamed, or they'd be unnamed?
Do you want to give me a history check with advantage?
I do appreciate it.
Hi. 18.
There are some, though it's sometimes a hotly debated point of view amongst not just dwarvish folk, but all sorts of, depending on your honor code, essentially. There are some that argue that the squire serves not for their own glory, but for the glory of their master. And so it would be considered essentially uncouth to essentially allow a squire's tomb to outshine the master. And so some
for the squire or for folk?
So it would be considered by some that if you were to name the squire, that you would be taking light away from their master. And so it's an odd tradition that some follow, but it's
perfectly understandable.
It's not a uniform thing, and it's something that is
Okay.
hotly debated by some folk as to whether or not it is honourable or dishonourable.
Thorik's mindset would certainly be on the subject of, he doesn't voice it, but he sort of thinks himself that actually to swear your service to another is in itself a huge honor for that individual. Christred is the one who is honored to be served, not the servant to serve. So would offer a prayer of thanks to them as well, and just say, whoever you are, may your halls of your ancestors ring with laughter and joy at your coming. May you have carried light and this plane and the next. Thank you. And turns away. And actually just taking the warhammer, sort of sheaves it over his back and just takes the shoulders of his fellows and kind of just grips them in all an embrace and just says, truly, I can't express how much it means to have friends that care enough to put themselves on the line for something like this. Words do nothing. I just hope I can repay it one day.
You already have. And she kind of pats him on the back.
Friends is a funny word. Often I think there might be another word that resonates more true and stronger than that.
I just look at him and go, brother.
Sort of like brings him into a big sort of...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not getting away from that. He kind of brings everyone into embrace. And he says to Sergei, rest his head against Sergei's and kisses Sergei's forehead and said, what word's that, brother?
I don't know. Begins with an F and ends with Amelie.
Sort of tear in his eye, kind of looks at Sergei, just like, you mean that?
Of course. What, do you not?
Of course I do. But, I didn't want to be all squishy and, I'm just a big, mountain bear, cuddly fellow.
I've come from the seas, and the thing that I know is the waves are strong and lethal, but they can also be quite smooth and gentle. And the best kind of waves are both.
That's quite profound.
Thank you.
Yes, well done.
Thank you, Master. Right, so kill a dragon?
And
Suppose so.
Thorik, And Thorik, when I called you my sibling, I meant it.
Same, sister. You're stuck with me now, and I live longer than you, so...
Then you can carry me in my old age.
Well, yes. Shall we just try and survive the next 24 hours first?
Yeah, that's good too.
We're maybe getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
It was fine. Thought we had a god looking after us, ups the odds.
Oh, thank you. You
Hopefully.
really didn't have to.
2 if Tyr wants to weigh in at all.
Oh, he's always watching, sort of.
Are they a sightless god?
Yes, he's blind.
Oh, I didn't
Blind
know.
justice.
You think he'd fix that if he were a god?
Well, we all have a thing. He's missing his right hand as well, which is why I always find it strange that they call him the even-handed. He's quite literally odd-handed.
Oh,
Huh.
right. Which way?
How's everyone looking health-wise?
Nary a scratch.
Yeah, only a small scratch.
You seemed you very selflessly took all of the hits once there.
Well, it seemed to be interested in me in this. So, weirdly enough...
Okay. Could be better, but I could be worse.
How? Bloody?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 35,
I knew that was going.
I'm about a 24.
Very well. And I turned to the squire and said, "You fought well. Let's make sure that you're in prime condition for the dragon." Yes. And I place a hand on him, and I'm going to use my lay on hands to give him 11 hit points.
Yes. It tingles. 11.
Do we think we're likely to be facing this dragon
Thank you.
soon?
I'm just prepping in case he's outside.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thorik's still bloodied, and
You can have some.
would we...
You can have some too. I have how much left do I have? I gave 11, which means that I have 14.
And I mean, I don't want to be a bother. I can.
No, it's quite all right. Come on now, and I give him sort of like a rough massage on the shoulders as I put another 13 hit points into you.
Oh, that's very nice. It's very nice not to have to do
I'm
it
saving
yourself.
1 hit point on my lay on hands, just in case we need it. As a defibrillator.
Hey,
Because we're not going to get, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not going to be able to get a chance to get a long rest outside, are we?
So this location you have deemed unsafe for resting outside, certainly. Yes.
what about here?
That's entirely your call.
Oh, it doesn't scream unsafe inside. That's the message, basically.
The place we've just been assaulted doesn't scream unsafe.
There's stages of safety.
There's broken floor. We could.
We rested in the mines, like
It was heading towards like mid-afternoon, evening, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
I don't
Well,
want
it
to
would be dry at least.
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Is there anything we can use to temporarily block up the entrance to this cave?
Ooh.
How easy is it to move a dragon skull?
I was just thinking the same thing. Well, I do have these
So
ogre.
the tunnel is about 4 foot wide and about 8 foot tall.
Oh,
Give me a few pork pies. I'll be able to.
We get snap. Oh, I haven't made pork pies in ages. I'm going to make your pork pie.
That sounds lovely. How big is this dragon skull? Is it a dragon skull or is it just a reptile skull?
It is a dragon skull. It's pretty.
It is dragon skull. How big is the dragon skull?
Pretty big.
About 4
Few
by
teeth
8.
and 8 foot tall, perchance.
Is it 8 feet tall?
Well, obviously it had to be big enough to be able to get. Well, actually, can I get an insight check from you, please?
Oh, nat 20.
Oh, very nice.
Why now?
So, as you were kind of searching for an entrance into this barrow, you had actually noted that the shape of the actual hilltop itself kind of does look something like the shape of a dragon. By your estimations, you are at the tail end of said dragon.
Oh, okay. So we're inside a dragon.
So, this skull will have been moved from one end to the other. So the skull itself is not going to be quite big enough to block the entryway because at some point it made its way in here.
It works as we'll be able to hear if something's breaking through at least.
Right. Everyone grab a corner.
All right. Dragging this really big dragon skull across this tomb.
Yep.
Kind of block up as best you can, or in as much as you can, this entryway into this chamber with the two sarcophagi. Okay. What would you like to do next?
While we're doing this, could I do a quick religion check just to rack my brain on what I know about Tyr? And does Tyr have a missing hand?
Are you checking for? Is this your bullshitometer?
Yeah.
All right. By all means, give me a religion check.
Would this be religion or would it be insight?
This would be religion.
Well, bullshitometer would be inside.
Oh, I mean, a bullshitometer would be insight, but you're specifically querying what you know
Yes.
about Tyr. So.
Ooh, okay. So that's an 18 plus 2, a dirty 20.
Oh, very nice indeed. All right, Tyr. You have heard stories of Tyr. Indeed, he is the god of justice, the even-handed, also referred to by some as the maimed god. And he is also known across some of the planes of existence as the one-handed.
Okay, good to know. Just checking we didn't have a sort of undead wizard situation on our hands there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Because you were like, he's
Yeah,
blind.
I'm in now.
I say he's blind. He's got one eye.
I'll take first watch. You three rest.
Well,
Oh, very good. Squire, set up the camp.
Will do.
we can all
We
set up.
usually do that all together.
Yes.
It's quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not in a rush, are we? I was going to do a perimeter sweep.
Saga
can
kind of
all-
looks at Thorik.
I'll help Sergei. You do a sweep. Thinking what I can add on. I'm going to use my cook's kit. After he's used it to use up the rest of the wyvern meat, because we had loads, so he's got at least for his couple of meals. It'll be a very protein-based dinner tonight, but we should be able to get some wyvern meat done. But after he's used his cook's utensils, he's going to set it up with a rope between the teeth of the dragon skull to make like a kind of noise trap where he's going to hang his pots and pans and his old warhammer off of the the rope, so anything that like comes past, it'll be difficult. It'll make like not even just like a ting-a-ling-a-ling, like pots and pans and Warhammer, like bang, 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 bang. Just,
Nice.
yeah, that's his intention. Sort of over the course of the next half an hour or so.
Sure. Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Well, Saga will set up the fire, and then once that's done, she'll take out Johann's diary, because she has that. Not the bad book, as in Johann's own.
Yeah, well, the bad book is not.
Exactly.
I don't have the bad book.
Yeah, just making it 100% clear.
Sure.
What
I'd
I'm
like
doing.
to tune to it.
All right. Is there anything in particular that you're looking at in Johann's diary?
I mean, I'll flick through it.
Okay.
I'll see if there's any. She'd flick through it kind of widely,
Okay.
and she would look at like the last. What were the last sort of entries, if any?
Yeah, most of it is notations on foul creatures that you have dealt with and met. The most recent ones being Wraith and Flaming Skull, and the ghouls. Kind of an update on the ghouls. Essentially, yes, they are as terrible as I remember them. And words to that effect. Not much really sentimental stuff in there.
Yeah, no, it's still.
He kept it very focused on what the brethren had asked of him, quite stoically. But there are the occasional doodles of members of the party in the margins.
Cute.
Kind of like not necessarily fully sentimental, but just of particularly epic moments of slaying. Kind of not particularly well drawn either, but you can tell that their big bushy bearded individual is clearly meant to be Thorik.
That stick figure with a beard is probably Thorik.
With a slightly less stick and a little bit more rounded. Again, very very crude drawing of Thorik with a hammer, swinging at things, and drawings like that. Is about as sentimental as it gets.
Yeah. No, well, it still means a lot. So she'd smile and then look sad and kind of run her fingers over the little doodles.
Anything anybody else would like to do?
I'd like to stroll off to just do a sort of perimeter sweep of this room, because we haven't really properly looked to see, specifically looking to check if there's any other ways in, however big or small, and anything else that might seem to stick out other than it being a room.
Sure. Yeah, do you want to give me an investigation check?
Yes. Which is going to be a 4. I'm largely just enjoying the walk.
Yeah.
And that's what a perimeter sweep is. Got it.
Yes. By perimeter sweep, he means walking the room.
Yeah. Promenade.
Yes.
Perambulating.
Yeah.
Shall we promenade?
Yeah.
Sergei, anything you would like to do?
I'm just playing on the lute, just kind of plucking. Obviously, Song of Rest is only for short rest, but just kind of giving like a nice little calming tune.
Very nice. Very good. Very good. Very good. Alrighty. So, you eventually then, after a hearty meal of wyvern meat, you do eventually settle down for the evening, unless there is any conversation, of course, you'd like to have over dinner.
It's wyvern stew tonight, everyone. Fill your boots, plenty of. Kind of puts out in everyone's mess kits and
Thank you.
hands like a hunk of bread to each person. It's probably a tiny bit stale now, but it's dunk it in the bread in the stew and still be good. And Thorik just says, "So, the dragon then."
The dragon.
What
Do you
do
think
we
it
know?
will be as gay as the wyvern, or
I'm not sure we'll have time to eat it.
Can you eat dragon?
Would Thorik know whether you can eat dragon? I suppose it doesn't come up very often, but he's read a lot of cookbooks.
That's certainly a fair question. Would you like to give me a nature check, please?
Cool. Can I add my cook's tools proficiency?
You certainly can, yes.
22.
A 22. Yes, dragon meat is edible.
I'd maybe not go for a black dragon, for example. The toxins in its you have to kind of it's like a fugu sort of thing. Where like the there are so many parts of it, like filtering the damn thing is just so hard, like parts of it are toxic, parts of it aren't. But most other species of dragon are edible. There have been a couple of sort of stories of dragons attacking dwarvish towns centuries ago, and them feasting on the remains of the dragon for a year, and there being a particularly prolific harvest, and loads of dwarven children born from the virility of the dragon. I mean, loads of old wives' tales about it, but yeah.
Yes. I think there's a secret dining club in Neverwinter. They are only the most exotic meats. Never been invited myself, you understand, but I've heard all sorts of things gets consumed there. Wouldn't surprise me if dragon turned up on the menu.
Well, if you got
Yeah,
the
one of the members was one of my big fans.
Oh, really?
Remember him? Yeah.
Do we know anything about these dragons? This one is a white dragon, yes?
Aye.
Looked white to me.
What do we know anything about white dragons? I know they're different colors. Does that mean they have different aspects to them?
Thorik, you think you saw it, didn't you?
I don't know. Would Thorik know anything about the different types of dragon? Any kind of thing to do with differences? What a white dragon might denote?
Denote in terms of what? Sorry.
Well, just like any variations. Like he's probably heard stories of dragons enough, and sort of things like certain drakes breathe fire, certain drakes are poisonous in nature, some favor icy climates. Would he know anything about white dragons specifically?
Do you want to give me a nature check?
Sure. Not very good. 2.
Well, not particularly. You know that there are differences, but the precise differences you're not entirely sure. You know that generally different types of dragons live in different sorts of climates and biomes, but that's probably about as far as your knowledge goes.
My father's library had an extensive collection of books on dragons.
Did you read any?
Oh, no. Far too busy out having fun for that.
Fair enough.
Your father's got a library, you say?
Yes, doesn't yours?
Of cookbooks, yeah.
Oh,
And
each to their own.
brewing, and he refers to his sourdoughs as his babies. You know, he's got lots of different sourdoughs. He's had a sourdough for 100 years.
What?
Sounds funky.
That's older than me.
Oh yeah, no. Cheese is great. You know, as long as you like keep the temperature good and like feed it properly. You know, you can keep sourdough forever.
Wow. Frankly, I'd rather shake hands with a hooked horror.
You ever seen one of those?
Yes, at a distance.
I was passing through some dodgy town. Didn't speak much of the language, but managed to say that I was, a cleric, and I don't know whether they were going to kill me or eat me, but they brought me over, and I ended up spending half the evening, tending to some battle that they'd just been part of with this group. But they had this hooked horror against, like a pit fight of this hooked horror against like five people. Nasty business. Didn't watch half of it, but first time seeing one of those things.
Goodness me. I did a sweep of the perimeter. Absolutely nothing there. We're good go. Completely secure.
Great, nice job.
Okay. So, Saga, you've said you're going to take first watch
Yes.
this evening.
Yes,
as
she'll take first one.
the rest settle down to sleep in this dark chamber. Is there anything you'd like to do during your watch?
Yes.
Okay.
She'll wait until everyone's asleep. She's kept the book on her lap.
Okay.
And very quietly, she'll speak to her because she doesn't want to wake anyone else up, but she'll be like, I miss you. You should have seen what we just fought. Well, you couldn't see it, but you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure Marvellus hates me. And I don't know why I care. I shouldn't care. I'll keep them safe. And then she kind of just trails off and waits until the end of her watch.
Okay. Which passes uneventfully.
Mm.
Who did you want to wake up for next watch? Because I
Did anyone say?
don't think so.
Do they?
I can go.
Saga's going to choose Thorik. She's going to very gently shake his shoulder and go,
Wakes up. All good.
yeah, nothing. Not a peep.
Great.
I can take a longer watch if you're still feeling.
Oh. Hey, I'm fine. I'm made of sterner stuff than that.
Well, good night.
Good night.
I hope yours is uneventful too.
And Saga, just thank you for everything, for being you.
Really? Even the last one?
Really. Even the last one.
Kind of narrows her eyes at him. Then she goes, okay. You're welcome.
Well, I'm not going to change you.
But you might judge me still.
Never.
You're too soft. And she says that really affectionately.
Thorik knows and is just like, I am.
Good night.
Good night.
Marvellus
show.
is absolutely a snorer.
Oh no! If she's anywhere near him, she will like kick him so he rolls over.
He rolls over. There's a good 5-second pause in which you have the hope that
Yeah.
he stops, and then a
Oh, no.
Oh god.
like an obnoxious amount of snoring.
Yeah.
Thorik, anything
Sorry,
you
just
would
to
like-
amuse. It's just that she's going to kill him.
Hey there, Questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your support really helps to keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you, our incredible patrons and YouTube members, who are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Bellaston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, Rebecca Hill, Giles McGee, and Caesars. Honestly, your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those of you who haven't yet joined, I would invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. But to everybody, thank you again for all of your support and helping us to tell these incredible adventures together.